sharing playbooks. This is not one that I have ever seen, but when I'm gonna go 30,000 foot view overarching theme real quick, and then we'll talk about it. But like, this is an offshoot of no loyalty to teams. I'm gonna put that ground level, and then we can move up from there. But if you did not see it, former Memphis safety Taj Rah-El was kind of put on blast this weekend for sending Memphis's defensive playbook to UTSA quarterback Owen McCown. And if you remember that game,
he was
UTSA's offense was rolling. I think, was it 44-36, I believe, was the final score of that game.
Dynamic that game, more so than any game they had.
Owen McCown finished with 280 some odd yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions.
Yeah. So, Kenny, I think you've got the DMs. Can you throw those up there for people that are watching on YouTube?
Yeah,
if you are
I want us
watching
to
on YouTube.
shout out before we go any further. Sam Shoemaker from Tiger Sports Report, and On Three guys, absolutely dominated the story.
And before you throw this screenshot up there, yes, phenomenal work by Sam Shoemaker, who graduates in 2027. I have an interview that I did at 92.9. You can go check it out. We have it up on the site. Phenomenal stuff. Very well-spoken kid. He was actually, as soon as he broke the news, he was on the road for like some he's doing like some religious work. I think, I don't know where, but he went on a road trip with some people from his church. So there's that. But I am still wrecking my brain, and he'll never tell us this. How do you get your hands on this screenshot? How?
There's Anthony Sane on the Anthony Sane show conjectured that it was a scorned female of Taj Rah-El sent it.
Well, but then Taj would have had to send that to her.
Unless she got his phone.
Or unless she was next to him. I mean, listen, your guess is as good as mine because I have no idea. I have no idea. But throw that DM up there.
Yeah, so for if you're watching on YouTube, you can see it. If you are watching on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to us, leave a comment, engage with us. But if you're just listening and if you haven't heard yet, I'll kind of read it. So at the very top, you can see a picture of what appears to be a playbook. Says, "Here you go, though. That's all the signals." A bunch of crying emojis from Owen McCown, and then multiple messages from Taj Rah-El. Far left is coverages. I'll send you better list showing you the calls. They run quarters, and none of their safeties can cover, by the way. No reroutes on the slot to the field, or no reroutes on the slot. The field safety is the weakest link in the defense. His hamstring's hurting, but he's running out of eligibility. So when you play him, he's number 0, and that's Cortland Marsh.
That's the shit that pisses me off more than anything.
Well, and it also made me laugh. His hamstring's hurting, and he's running out of eligibility. Well, Cortland Marsh had another year to play.
Right. And he beat you out. He beat you out.
And you're basically calling him the weak link. Brother, he beat you out.
Yeah.
Like
that's another aspect to this. Taj Rah-El was on the team, off the team, on the team, off the team. Like it was, and I don't know if was it put out like why he was on and off?
Yes, he got caught. He stole a PS5 from Cortland Marsh.
The information that I've gathered is he stole a PS5 from Cortland Marsh and sold it. Tried to sell it online.
So
and then he was kicked off, but they brought him back because Cortland got hurt, right? Because they needed depth, and then he had some more run-ins, and then he was officially off the team.
Yeah, so it was never good for Taj Rah-El at Memphis, and this is actually somebody that a lot of people were hyped about. He was one of their highest ranked transfers coming out of Old Dominion. Like he was expected
84 tackles at Old Dominion.
Right, he was expected to be a big piece of this defense last year. But overall, like, this is absurd. I've never seen anything like this. I'm sure there have been maybe some instances like this, but there's a couple aspects here that really aggravate me. And the biggest one being the statement that was released from Taj Rah-El's people saying, you probably don't have that, do you?
I was going to bring it up. I have it in front of me.
Read that, and
we'll break it down a piece at a time. You ready? In light of recent reports surrounding our client Taj Rah-El and the allegations stemming from his time prior to leaving the University of Memphis, we feel it is important to address the situation directly. This has been a difficult period for all involved. While there are differing perspectives on what happened, Taj acknowledges that errors in judgment may have been made. At no point was there any intent to harm teammates or compromise the integrity of the game he loves. Taj holds a deep respect. That's
all
enough.
that matters.
Time out. Yeah, I agree.
The rest.
That
the rest
whole
doesn't matter.
paragraph, those two
Yeah.
sentences,
Yeah,
or three sentences, foolish.
At no point was there any intent to harm teammates or compromise the integrity of the game that he loves. There is nothing more that you can do to compromise the integrity of the game than what Taj Rah-El did. Like, there's no more. And let's put this into perspective, because we know as massive sports fans how pissed off people get when players bet. Right? Like, we know that's a big deal. Pete Rose never made it to the Hall of Fame because of this. We've seen players kicked out of the NFL and NBA because of this. That's an integrity of the game thing. Betting on it because you can control certain outcomes. You have deeper knowledge than other people do. That's wrong. This, in my opinion, is 100 times worse. Like, it doesn't get you. You cannot compromise the integrity of the game any more than completely giving the other team every bit of what you're going to do. Like, for me, it's just, it is asinine to think that any competitor in any level on any team would say, you know what, screw all of these people that I play with. I do not care. I'm so pissed at the coaching staff and the players in front of me. And I'm not getting a fair chance. I'm not in the starting lineup and I'm better than all these people. Like, to get to a point where you send out your signals to an opposing quarterback, which was a high school teammate of his. He and Owen McCown played high school football together, so there's a prior relationship there. But to me, it's just insane. Like, this is one of the crazier things I've ever seen as far as cheating, unfair advantages, things like that go.
Yeah, this is treacherous, brother. You don't do this. I've seen multiple guys when I was at the University of Memphis be angry with the coach or want to get in the go transfer, pissed off because they're not getting playing time. I don't think any of those guys ever had it cross their mind, hey, I'm going to go leak the playbook to our opponents. Right. Like, that's just some bullshit. And like, between the stolen PS5 and that, like, you know what it tells me? I don't know Taj Rah-El. I don't know him, but I think perception becomes reality when you see things like this. And you know what it tells me? He's not a good guy.
Yeah.
And he's at Purdue right now, and he's probably not facing anything. Because I don't think UTSA should be punished for this, because this is something that just landed in their lap, given to them. Are they lying or stretching the truth about how much it helped them? Maybe. But I don't think they should be punished. Taj Rah-El should be punished in some way, shape, or form. And maybe that has to do with my old coach, one of my favorite guys in the world, Barry Odom, saying, brother, this isn't worth it. The juice ain't worth the squeeze with your ass. Like, if you can do that to Memphis, you can do that to Purdue too.
100%.
So pay attention to that. But go back to the Taj Rah-El agent statement, because I want to dig even deeper on the, they said, you brought up the integrity part, but he says there was never any intent to harm teammates. Well, twofold. One, you're harming your teammates by having them potentially lose a game. Right? Like, that's harm. That's doing harm in itself. Also, you gave UTSA some things that they wouldn't have because the injury reports were not a part of American Conference football. You told them that his Cortland Marsh's hamstring was hurting. What they could target that. They could, but they have that information now. You are actively doing harm by letting them know that information.
Yeah.
And then go back to the statement again one more time. He said, while there are differing perspectives on what occurred, what differing perspectives are we talking about?
Pretty
I think there's one
obvious
perspective here. It's that he sent that DM to the starting quarterback of UTSA the week before the game. UTSA won 44-36. And let's think about what that game meant. No more American Conference Championship plans, no more college football playoff plans, even though they probably would have been dashed later in the season anyway because Boise State was undefeated. Either way, I think I agree with you, Christian. I hate what Taj did. I think the response from his team and his agency is almost worse than the actual action, because you're not taking any accountability.
Yeah.
And you're making everyone think they're taking crazy pills. And I thought to a certain extent Owen McCown and Jeff Traylor tried to do that at AAC or at American Conference Media Days. I didn't like that either.
Yeah, no, I wasn't a big fan. All right, Kenny, are you going to play those, and then we'll?
I can if you want me to.
Let's do this. Let's play the Owen McCown one.
Yeah,
I think we play the Owen McCown one.
Here we go.
Yeah, no, obviously, first and foremost, I didn't ask for any of that information. It kind of, based off my little emoji reaction, you can see it caught me, by surprise of what happened. Like Coach said, the information was completely irrelevant. And
that's one time he said irrelevant. Let's keep counting.
How we take week in and week out, how we prepare. It was like I said, completely irrelevant, and that's all it was.
Oh, and do you feel like this paints you in a bad light? Like, what would you say to the people who are kind of almost attacking you at this point?
Yeah, I just think they don't know how we process week in and week out. Like I said, the information had made zero sense. It was completely irrelevant to what we do week in and week out.
Yeah, a couple things here. So he starts off by saying that it was unprompted and it fell in his lap. I don't want to make any allegations, accusations, but just looking at it, the first message from Taj is, "Here you go, though." That's all the signals. That's the first two messages. That just doesn't sound like something you're dropping in somebody's lap.
Right.
You know, like that sounds like a response. Like they had been having a dialogue, and then in comes, "Oh, here you go, though. Here's the signals." They were talking. Like it sounds like
It's like
once
they were
again,
talking about it before, which is a good catch by you.
it was
Well,
already being discussed. And then he says, like, "You can tell by my emojis it caught me by surprise." To me, like, and I know this is so like low level, kind of dumb, but like, I mean, we're young, like we understand, we know like the way that people use emojis, like crying face is something like what he used is like a thank you almost. Like, I can't believe this is happening.
No, but
Thank
also
you type
it's like,
deal.
I can't believe he really just sent me these.
Yes, like
Yes.
you got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
And
Like
so-
you're for real. You hate Memphis. You hate what they did to you. I cannot believe you offered to send this and you actually did it.
You follow
Cry
through.
face,
Like, that's what
cry
those
face
emojis could be
emoji, cry
taken
face
as
emoji.
well.
yeah,
Cry face
so
emoji.
so there's that aspect of it, and then there's the obvious. We counted them up. The irrelevant aspect. There's in no world that if you have someone else's playbook, it is irrelevant.
Well, and then injury information, and
Right.
then they tell you that there's no reroutes to the field. They are in the slot. They tell you that they only run quarters. He
Yeah.
tells you their weak link, and then he sends the play calls.
Which
There's
let-
no way that that's irrelevant to a game plan or to a game. There's no
And,
chance. And also worth mentioning, he's very. How coached was that statement? How coached
Yeah.
was he before he met with the press? Saying irrelevant. Had no, like all of the things he said were very coached into his head before he even took a question that day.
Because Jeff Traylor said the same thing, that it was irrelevant. That
You know, and
I
he
just-
really pissed me off calling it asinine. And,
yeah.
I think even Tim Pernetti, the American Conference Commissioner, pissed me off. He called it
Called it
clickbait.
Tim
No,
Pernetti
it's
sucks.
anything but clickbait. It's the truth.
Yeah.
Clickbait.
You may not
He
like the truth.
sucks.
It's the truth.
I've got another point I want to make about what you were saying in terms of the conversation. Christian had mentioned this before we got on the thing. And I was like, well, that's a great point. Let me bring this up real quick. You asked about the conversation, and I don't want to necessarily put words in people's mouths, but you said, okay, look, here you go, though. Here you go, though.
Oh,
That's all the signals. I can tell you what they were talking about in the screenshot prior to that. Look at the very end. But let me know if they cut your stuff. I'll put in a word.
yeah.
That means he was still on the team at Memphis.
Yes.
With the idea that he was about to get cut from the team because of the bullshit that he had been doing. So let me know if they cut you. I'll put in a word. You can come to
Hey,
UTSA.
I know that Memphis was probably running their course with Taj anyway. Slick tampering, just to be honest with you.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of tampering from a sitting starting quarterback at a rival institution in conference.
This was when Taj Rah-El was still practicing with his teammates. I guarantee you the next day he was at practice with his teammates, knowing full well that he had given those play calls, the signals to the opposing team they were playing the next week.
Yeah. No,
Unbelievable.
it is absolutely absurd. And like I said to start it off, like when you don't have any loyalty to your teammates, when you don't have any loyalty to a program, when you've bounced to a couple schools already, you've already been cut by this program, like it's just, I don't want to say this is going to be something that's super prevalent and reoccurs all the time, but you can see a world where this is much more likely than it ever was. And who knows? This could have had. I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure a similar situation to this has happened in the past. Maybe it was through word of mouth. Maybe it was, from whatever the case may be. I'm sure there's been something somewhat similar to this, but for it to be out there, like the whole thing, no hiding, like this is butt naked in a massive crowd right here.
Yeah.
Like there's no way around this. You cannot deny this. You cannot get away from this. Like this is legitimate. This is real. and it's a bad look for anybody. So
Yeah.
you feel bad for Memphis because it's always going to be a what could have been now, and it gives Memphis fans like that even more just battered fan syndrome for like what happens if we win this game and what happens if they don't have our signals and who knows. So it's a sucky situation all around. Like it's one of the
Yeah,
more like
and-
one of the more absurd sports stories I've ever seen.
And
I can't fathom being a competitor and doing that.
neither can I. Neither can I. I've seen a lot of guys, like I said, angry. Never did it cross their mind to do some nonsense like this. I think that what you're saying, though, Christian, is a fair point. I think with the day and age of the transfer portal and people selling their program on the transfer portal and maybe putting out more promises that they don't deliver out on the open market than they have in the past. I think it's very likely you're going to have angry guys, angry players that expect to be getting more playing time and feel like they're being done wrong.
Yeah.
Right. And they're going to get frustrated, and frustration can boil over. I will say this, though. I think what was done here by Taj Rah-El is still going to be insanely uncommon.
Yes.
This is a rogue personality who's clearly just not the smartest guy or the nicest guy, who is a very selfish seeming person. Like I said, perception is reality. I don't know Taj. I can go off what I've heard about him and what's been reported, though. But I still think this exact situation is going to be uncommon going into the future.
Yeah, I think it's going to be uncommon for sure, but it's much more likely than it has.
The anger and the frustration boiling over, very common in today's day and age.
Yeah, no doubt.
Boys, and also for Taj, can I just say this? Don't steal your teammate's damn PlayStation. Then you probably won't be pissed off in the back, because he got playing time even after all this shit happened.
Right.
Last year. Like, just don't give yourself self-inflicted wounds.
Right.
Then this won't happen. Final thing. Ryan Silverfield did respond to this, and I thought it was fine. Like, I thought he hit it on the head. He took responsibility for having this go on in his program, which
that's par for the
I kind of appreciated. That's pretty big of him to do, to say, if I would have just had this shit under wraps, we would have been okay. But I didn't, clearly. So I take full responsibility. And I thought that's the way to go. It does suck, though, that no punishment really going to come out of this in all likelihood. Taj Rah-El at Purdue now.
If you're Purdue, do you keep him?
I wouldn't. I'm telling you, I would not. I just don't. And Purdue put out a statement basically saying they're standing behind him.
But then they removed him off the roster, it looked like.
I had seen that, but they put out a statement that was contrary.
Yeah.
If I'm a football coach, a head football coach that brought this guy in,
not taking that.
I would immediately say juice is not worth the squeeze.